blast off. And we're back. And look at this. We don't have Vicky taking over the show today. We have Adam.
I am Vicky.
You are Vicky? Okay.
Yeah, I was there, but I had different different physical appearance.
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay.
Yes, because I change sometimes, you know.
Okay, it's good to know.
Yeah.
Good to know that you change sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, Vicky,
and I
you're
hope I'm
great.
me today because sometimes somebody comes into me and uses my name, my face, and everything.
Wow. Well, you are you today because we only deal with you, so we know that we have.
Well,
the right
we don't know
Adam.
that. We don't know that. Of course, it may not be Adam. I mean, how do we know it is him?
Yeah, I don't know either. I don't know myself.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And how can you know you when you don't know what you are? What you are?
Wow, that is prolific.
How can you? Yeah, how can you know that it's you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
today I had a very profound walking with my dog because you know I guess guys have been missing my philosophies. I'm pretty sure about it. You too.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So since we
the dog has been missing your philosophy. Is that what you're trying to tell us?
Oh,
the dog is my philosophy. It's my inspiration. So she doesn't miss me.
Okay.
This is the living being that sees me the most. And because she's a guardian of me. She's a white angel, you know.
She's a guardian of Adam, and we're not quite sure who you are.
Yeah, but we don't know who is in Adam.
So wait a minute, if I may, what was this prolific thought that you had while you were with the dog?
Do you remember that we often talk about death and stuff like this? I just was walking because today it's a little better day. The weekend was a little bad weather. A lot of there was some raining at last and some winds. And I was walking there, totally empty beach with sunshine and very nice. And I was thinking about death again because I often think about it. And I was thinking that death is an exchange. It's a very big exchange. You exchange yourself, or the notion of you, which we don't know what it is, but we very, very much cling into it. We stick to it very much, to the every experience that was ever experienced, that was ever happened. You exchange this.
Right.
Because when you are not you anymore, you're free of you, which is, I really tell you, it must be probably the most hard thing to do, to leave yourself, this illusion of yourself, but exchange it to every kind of experience that ever happened. Every experience of your grandmother, grandfather, grand, every animal, and not only on this planet. This is what came to me, and I don't have any proof. No, I am not any kind of. Actually, I'm not even a philosopher. I'm an artist.
Yes, you are. You're an artist philosopher.
Yeah.
I don't know if you realize that.
On my other interview, I was saying that I am an artist, but it's not my main occupation. But philosophy is.
Right.
But it's true in one way. But on the other hand, because we artists, we often say things just to be liked by people who will buy our art, or in general will bring us fame and stuff. That's why we.
That's a shocking statement to make. Shocking statement.
Yeah, but
I'm shocked by that.
We do it. We have to live. It's a matter of survival for us.
Right.
It's not only a matter of survival. It's also because being an artist, you want to be famous. Right. It's kind of a need, Of course, it's also practical because if you're famous, you're selling better, etc., etc. Or if you care for those, but not that much, it's not your main objective. Like for me, I would say, you want to transmit things that For example, how can I visualize what I just said to you? Well, I have to do it then.
Right.
Because I just said something and it might sound stupid, but for me, it's an intuition. It's a feeling. Words are a very poor way of communication. It's the best we have. I mean,
Right.
but it's very poor because words, what some word mean. Let's take the word love. Do you think everybody has the same notion of the word love?
No,
No.
just like nobody has the same definition of the word hate or dislike
Exactly.
or,
Or
you know,
art, which is the
right, or
best.
art. Correct.
The first question that
Yeah.
that journalists or people who interview should ask an artist: what is the definition of art for you? What is art?
Yeah.
And you will you understand many things immediately.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like I forgot who they asked the definition of obscene in a famous court trial. And I can't remember the trial, but the guy said, he says, I know it when I see it. So what's obscene to one is not obscene to the next. Right. So
Exactly.
it's the same thing. So yeah. So everything
But
has many meanings.
this is how the universe works. It
Yeah.
wants different point of view, different opinion, different everything different. It's all those experiences
Right.
that we will become them when we die. That's what
So
I
that's
think.
the app that goes back to the absolute. Everybody
Yeah,
goes
because
back to the
yeah, that's the
absolute.
absolute. But we have no
Right.
idea of the absolute. We just it's another
But
word. It's another
Right.
word.
but of all this
Another
philosophizing, philosophizing. Is that
Wow.
the
yes,
word?
yeah, philosophizing. Yes,
Yeah,
yes. I think.
yeah. Over death. Is that making you happy or sad or
No,
indifferent?
it's not about happy or not happy. It's a destination. You cannot avoid your
Right.
path in the
No,
way.
no. I
So
appreciate that.
something wants me to think about it. Why? I don't know. Maybe help other people because this is our major and the primal fear. Everything
Right.
that we do is based on this, even if we don't admit it, even if it's not really it's existential. I think that we do art because of that. This is one of
Because
the
Because of
main
death.
you want to
reasons
be
that we
memorial, because you want to be memorialized in
no, it's
death.
existential. We
Oh,
want to understand what this
okay.
is, life.
Right.
And by default, when you are trying to find out what life is, what is absent of life? Because this is death, actually.
Yeah.
Because death is, as we said, is a part of life.
Of life.
It's still
But
life.
I did
Like,
realize
yeah.
quite a few months into doing this that the actually making these shows and talking to people like yourself is that you've actually helped to make me immortal.
In what way? Because I'm an artist.
Well,
No.
yeah, because this has been put now into digital concrete, and unless there's a major solar flare and wipes everything out, when I'm just literally in a pot somewhere on the mantelpiece, then yeah, this people will be enjoying my immortality by rerunning these
Well,
shows,
immortality.
rerunning
Look,
me talking to you.
you are a part of you. The one part that is using you when we are talking before about who is you, what is you, the identity issue
Right.
is immortal. I mean, your body, what you say, and David and Adam and Stephen, those narratives that we're using, those are not immortal because those are material.
Right.
Material is dying. It's not dying, it's changing all the time.
Right.
But there is a fundamental thing that is in you, in me, in Stephen, in everybody, which we cannot actually understand and perceive it in a very simple way because I don't know why, because maybe nature wants me, maybe we are not advanced yet, because we're not advanced. We can see it all around. If we were advanced, we will take care of very simple things like our nature more, or be more kind to ourselves, or we will stop wars, we will stop greed, we will stop the world would be a wonderful place, still with problems, still with death, still with missing people who are dying, or hurt, or pain, or suffering is an essential element to living, to life. Essential. Imagine life without suffering. Everybody
Utopia.
happy.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that? Everybody happy?
Yes.
It
Yes.
doesn't exist.
It would be
It
nice
doesn't
though.
exist. To be happy, you have to suffer sometimes.
I
So
agree.
is your suffering reflected in your art then?
Yeah, of course, it has to. It's probably also one of the reasons that I do, because I get comfort there. When I was talking
But
about this.
does the suffering in your art, do you okay, so you get comfort in the suffering of your art. But if I see your art, do I see the comfort from that
This is
art
something.
or the suffering?
This is something that I cannot answer actually. because I tell you that it's also connected with what I said, that me, what is actually me? You will see things of my experience, like my experience is there, but there might be so much covered that I might not even recognize them. That's why sometimes when I go back to some works, I say, oh, I remember this work because it reminds me this period of my life then. But some others, I don't. That means that it was more of experimenting. I did it not so much to express myself, to express what I feel, think, realize, experience, but more to find a way. It's like a paving way to another artwork that will come and will be more to the point. Not every artwork is successful, you know, but
Yeah, that's
every artwork
interesting.
has its own purpose.
Right.
It's interesting that
Sometimes,
you say that because on the run into the show before we came live, I said to you first of all about we shoot two of your pieces of work last week, which I referred to as Sad One and Sad Two, and you said no, they're called Sad Eye and Sad
and sad
Eyes.
eyes. Yeah, but okay.
And so for all the people who were interested in that, go back and watch last week's show.
Yes.
But when I said, well, do you want to run them again today so that you can talk about them? And in the nicest, kindest way as you normally are, you said, no, I don't want to go. No, it's gone. It's finished. Show something else. And
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
quite,
I have so many
I was
ideas in
slightly,
general.
I was taken aback a bit by that. It didn't offend me, but you were so, you were so no, as if it's gone, of no, not of
Mhm.
no relevance anymore.
No, well, I will see later. Maybe they're, but no, they are not the thing that. Not every artwork represents me, or at least I feel represents me, or at least holds the divine essence that I want to transmit. But there are works. There are a lot of works that I have. Maybe next
Okay.
time, because we always what we do, we mainly show new works. Like today, we will show one, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah, we
yeah.
show new works, new experiments, new findings. Maybe I'll make a collection like of 5, 6 works, or maybe we'll do next, because there are a lot of them that I will, from my point of view, and through time now, I would say that they represent me or represent a period in my time which was essential. And
Cool.
in general, my works are not. I see a period of time in my works, but what they're talking about is something more deeper and more fundamental. This is coming back to philosophy. Why I'm
Mhm.
interested in philosophy, because uh, it's the important. If you ask yourself, okay, I'm here in this world. It's a strange world. I don't know. They say I'm gonna die. I don't feel I'm gonna die. I feel like I'm going to be immortal, like this.
Right.
uh, and you ask yourself, okay, what is important? And you say, yes, but my family, my friends, my wife, my children, that is important. Is there something more important than that? Yes, life itself, or existence itself, which they have, you have. And if somebody dies close to you, then you realize that more,
Right.
that, oh, life is gone. So what is the essence of the life that is gone? What is behind it, or in front of it, or in it? I don't know. Those are the questions that I said that those are the questions important to me. And in art, I will try to transmit this, um, my thinking, my research. Actually, it's any research
Right.
about this, but in a very, because art is a very sophisticated human expression, a universal pattern, as I say. It's also nice finding this, that I've reached this conclusion that there is a triangle, the whole triangle. I don't know if I said it, but if I said it, I will say it again and again and again, because I'm totally sure our lives are based in this triangle. It's philosophy, science, and art. Philosophy, it's dealing with what something is, meaning. Yes. Science is how it works, how universe works, so that we have those great tools like the internet, microphone, everything that we can speak right now and everything. and the art, which is the expression of the self, of the subjective, which becomes objective. And I came lately. I'm thinking a lot. I'm coming to nice conclusions. I like them, and I wrote this on Twitter, and I think it's to the point. Art is not about objective or subjective, because there are a lot of artists, especially young artists, and I want to tell this to young artists, that it's subjectivity. Art is subjectivity. Well, it's not, because if it were only subjectivity, there wouldn't be any art academies. What would they teach you there? Being yourself? No. That means that there are some things that are objective there. So I believe that art is not about objectivity or subjectivity. It's the bridge between them. It's the thing that bridges subjectivity and objectivity. That means what you have inside and you get it out and becomes objective. So maybe we have some kind of common ground there altogether. Because if it were only subjectivity, who would fucking care? What I experience? But if I make my experience, look, guys, I have pain. Oh, somebody else, I have pain also. What kind of pain do you have? And is there a reason for this pain? I'm telling you, like super stupid sentence about this. So I think this conclusion is quite good, that it's a bridge between objectivity and subjectivity. Like life itself is a bridge. Although I believe everything is mental, for those who don't believe it, there is clearly mental stuff like our thoughts. This is mental. You cannot touch it, right? Your dreams, can you touch your dreams? Can you make something wrong? But you have your body also. We know exists. This thing exists. I can touch it.
Right.
It cannot be okay. It's some information in my brain which transmit and translates everything into I'm touching this and that. But it's an objective experience. If you touch it, you will have probably the same thing. I say probably because I'm not into you and you're not into me. This is the crazy thing about the game of life. So life itself, it's a bridge, and art, it's a bridge between objective, subjective, mental, and material. Although I believe that material is a representation of a mental state. Okay, we can go. That's
No, I like it, but it goes. We spoke about this thing called the absolute, which is supposedly the beginning of everything.
Question. This is a big question. What the absolute really wants.
Right, but the absolute is from the CIA's paper called the Gateway Project, right, where they went into multidimensionals and they had these people in the 80s go do this stuff. It was written by a general or a colonel. So it's fascinating because the absolute says, which you're saying, we're all energy. And what ends up happening is that when you're done here doing this, you go back to the absolute. And then, if you will, you get reassigned. But everything you learn goes to the absolute for like knowledge for everybody to be passed through.
Exactly.
So I find
every
that
experience.
Right.
Everything is recorded. I believe everything is recorded.
But
because
why?
it's
Why?
Sorry?
Why do we want to believe? Why do we want to believe that? Does that give us some sort of comfort? That there's life after
it's
this.
No different than you believing that you're going to go to a fake place called heaven because you're a Church of England. I guess it's the absolute, at least
Look, I mean, they told me that as a child, Stephen. You know that we've had this discussion before, so we'll put that to one side. But yeah, I mean, what is it? What is it that we have this desire as shaved monkeys to think that we're going to go, that anything else is ever going to happen or be experienced after we physically fall apart and die? I mean,
I think
is that out of hope? Is that arrogance?
No, I think there's too many things that are unexplained that you can't explain. Like they did a report, or like let's say a ghost,
but
or
is
let's say,
that important?
But it is and it isn't, because it gives people a peace of mind. There was a thing that 60 Minutes did. It has to be now 30 or 40 years ago, and they talked about death, near-death experiences, or when you die, what happens. And there was several people that they interviewed that they died, and then they came back. But what was fascinating to me was like, yeah, great, you saw light, you saw whatever. But what I thought was fascinating, this one lady said she was in the operating room when she died, and they revived her. And the operating room, let's say, is on the 3rd floor. What was fascinating to me is she told them everything what was going on the 6th floor when she died. So I think there's something there But since we don't know what it is, or you get a kid that, he's 6 years old, speaks fluent, pick a language. There was a kid that was 6 years old, he spoke fluent German. He was from London. And they were like, oh, there was another kid that said, I was in the war of World War I, and he kept telling these stories. So his parents finally took him to wherever. He knocked on a door, and he knew everything about the house, the people. So there's something there. We don't know what it is. And
Right.
that, if you
I
will,
agree
to
to that.
Adam's point and to what you're also saying, I think is the great mystery of life. We don't know what's there, but there's too many cases that have been documented that
It
there's
sounds more
something,
like
so we don't know.
it sounds more like the great hope in life. This is.
But if it's
because
documented, though, is it a great hope?
if people just realised, and I'm putting forward a point of view. I don't necessarily hold that point of view myself. I do it for the discussion and for people who are listening and watching.
Yeah,
But if there
yeah.
is
Go on.
if there is absolutely nothing after this,
Yeah.
that's not the sort of thing that people want to hear. They want to
some
have
people
this
believe
sort of,
that,
look, I will give you counter argument. Which is more comforting? You living, suffering, dying, and again living, suffering, dying. I mean, non-stop, or just dying and that's it. I think dying and that's it. That's the more comforting. That every pain, suffering is going to end with your death. Well, I don't think so. That's the point.
Right.
Do you
And to
think
your
I
that
don't know
point,
which is more comforting. I think that the Western culture,
reincarnation, then that you come back until you get it right. Is that the
not
way you're
exactly.
looking at it?
Well, some religions believe in that.
right.
I believe, on the other hand, that we have inside us this consciousness, which is the peace. I've said it before many times, that is constantly coming and going, using our bodies. It's actually using you. It's like nature is using you. That's why I say we don't have a free will also, because it's determined. We just cannot. It's too much data to predict anything. Too much data. There's no computer, and not ever a computer will be ever able to predict actually the future. I mean, to the every level, right? Because we can predict things. With science, as I said in the triangle, we have managed to go to the moon and beyond, etc. And we will go even further if we don't destroy ourselves. But somewhere else they are traveling somewhere. I'm pretty sure about it.
Right.
So I tell you, it's more comforting to believe, and the West society is believing actually this, that life, it's this. I am here, I will drink, eat, fuck, dance, and then I die in quiet. That's it. Nice. Perfect. It's just a moment of dying, probably it's unsettling, which it is. Yes, it is.
Well, I think it's the way you go. I mean, if you die in your sleep, you won't really know. If you're dying over a terminal illness, that's a little different. If you die, God forbid, in a plane or accident or train or something like that, or you get hit by something, that's a little different. The joke
Doesn't
always
really.
is,
I don't think really matters. Well, it matters, from the point of view of suffering. That's
right.
why we see
No,
somebody.
I think it matters. It matters in the point of view of survival. If you survive that moment, that's when you have all the pain. If you don't survive it, you're gone. You're dead anyway. So,
Well, listen, I've been close to death several times, and I will tell you that it's an interesting experience. When I got blown up when I was, a child, so to speak, back in 1976, I think it was 14 or 15. I got blown up, 3rd and 4th degree burns. I didn't know there were 3rd and 4th.
Wow.
I knew there was 3rd. I didn't know about 4, 5, and 6, but I had 4th degree and 48% of my body. Let me tell you something. When you're close to death and you're like a kid, you have a whole different perspective and outlook on life than most people, because most people don't get close to death. They may be like, oh, this happened. That's not close. But when you're blown up physically and literally, that's different. Granted, the girl was into blowtorches and we should have known better. But anyway, the point is that it's just a different mentality you have on life. So you live life to its fullest every day and not waste any time with anything. So whether there's something or not something after this, to David's point earlier, yes, our 2OF entertainment channel is making us immortal, and 100 or 200 or 300 or 10,000 years from now, someone's going to watch this interview and go, these were hip guys, or these guys were clueless, right? So it's just interesting that we have this, that in theory, the 12 trillion YouTube things that are out there right now makes everybody now immortal. So if you want to be immortal, it's not that hard. We're back 50 years ago, you couldn't be. You take a picture and your family has to hold on to that picture. So it's very different. You as an artist, though, is different.
There was a lot of artists. There was also a lot of writers who that was their aim to achieve immortality by producing a piece of art or writing a piece of literature that would be kept, that would be looked at by other people. That was their soul. The thing that drove them on in their artistry.
But in both cases, even if there is something after the, or there is, so that if there is something that we are talking about, something deeper, or if there is not, it's what you just said. We are still looking for meaning.
Yeah.
You see, because otherwise it's totally meaningless.
Yeah.
So why we don't
does
it have to have now a meaning? And that's it.
Why does it have to have a meaning? Why does it have to have a meaning? Why does everything have to have a label? Why does it? Why?
It's not that it
can
has,
you not just go with the flow? Can you not just go with the flow and enjoy the moment? When I go for my walks in the morning, it doesn't have a meaning.
Well, if you go with the flow, that's a meaning. You go with
the
flow.
That's a meaning. But your walks
still you will look for meaning.
Right, but your walks in the morning.
It's not our choice to look for the meaning. Right. I also think that it's not our choice to find deeper things as humans. Right. It's not our choice. I tell you, most of our things is not our choice. There is no I. There's no me. We are obeying nature's flow. That's what we're doing.
But your walk, though, in the morning, there's a purpose. The purpose is to get exercise, right? So you're not technically going with the flow. You can enjoy the moment. Like when I take my dog for a walk, I'm not thinking about anything other than the moment.
Things happen. If we were able actually to realize what is really happening now in front of us or on the beach, I mean, from all the energy, the molecules, the atoms, the electrons, the quantum entanglement that happens, everything that happens that we even have not found yet, because we're not so advanced, we'll go crazy. That's why our mind is, educated, through time, through this millions of years, so that it perceives things that are actually enough for survival, first of all. But if you have covered this, then you can start thinking about other things like this. Okay, I have where to sleep, I have food, I have water. What now? Mm-hmm. And then you said, what is this for? Why was it created? I know that your question is valid also. Why there has to be why? Doesn't have to be. There are people living without any whys. Just live. Most of them just living by, going to work, and they say, what the fuck, this guy is talking about death and I'm dying every day, like going to work and feeding my children. Yeah,
right. Death. That's true.
Yeah,
I will die and I will find peace. That's what I want. Life can be very boring, very annoying, very frustrating, but it's really, really beautiful. I mean, all those things, they're not only those. It's a prism of all the colors that can be.
Right.
Why we can see only this part of the spectrum and not all the spectrum. The eyes can see only visible light. There are other colors we cannot see. There are waves.
Because the overlords that live on the moon won't let us go see only.
No, there are animals which see more colors. There are,
right.
Or animals which live in a totally different way. It's totally different experience. Why? Life has evolved in so many different ways. Mm-hmm. The dolphin, for example, or the octopus, they're totally different animals. The octopus has minds in his how they are called,
tentacles.
Yes, the tentacles. There are minds there. Yeah. They have mind.
The ones that the Greeks love to eat. You mean those sort of tentacles?
Yeah, but since after I saw Netflix this documentary about the octopus, I don't eat them anymore.
They're very intelligent.
Very, very intelligent. Very intelligent.
They're very intelligent.
Like I tell you, we were talking about dogs, and we also say, like Donald Trump is saying, he died like a dog.
Right.
You said that, and it's positioning dog as something very low, that. But I have a dog, and it's a beautiful creature. It's full of emotions.
Yeah.
It's got its weaknesses. My dog, for example, is very selfish. She wants me for herself only.
Oh.
Not when I kiss with my girlfriend, she comes and she's jealous and she starts making noises. Come and she does this thing like, which is I
we
think
have
an
the same
expression of this. You are mine.
We have the same thing in our house with the cat. And
Yeah.
I sit on the couch. The cat will sit between us. Because it's her cat.
Because
It's her
it
cat.
wants you for herself, and also everybody. It's egoism. Also, I want, but it's also part of the survival thing.
Right.
And also, look, we cannot avoid the whys. We cannot. It's just our nature, and we are the only ones who actually do it. I don't see any other animal doing why. We are only doing it. So we're special.
We don't know that. We don't know that because we can't talk to them. We're not Dr. Doolittle,
No,
right?
you are
I can't
right.
ask my
Yeah,
dog. I can't ask my dog why.
Maybe,
the octopus
maybe in some
could
level
probably
they
say
have.
to themselves, why do they keep eating us?
Well, I don't know.
We don't know.
It doesn't look like they are thinking this way. They're just trying to by nature, trying to avoid you because of their fear.
I know. Touching on our favorite, one of our favorite subjects, we always come back to AI. I know there's some people researching animal communication, and I don't think I think maybe in the next 5 years or so, they'll actually be able to have a reasonable, an educated assumption of what's being said between animals, because things are, noise. So
let me ask you this question: if you can talk to your dog or your cat, does that make it less special? Because my mom used to say when she was alive, she'd be like, I would love to know what they're saying. And I thought about that and I'm like, I think the reason I love my dog is because when it makes its face or does its little barking, I don't know what it's saying. I don't know if I really want to know what my dog is saying. My dog may be saying, listen, shut the fuck up. I don't want to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning with you and go for your run.
That's
I don't
exactly
want
what
to do this.
it's
I don't
saying.
want to. Right, probably. And it's like, maybe I don't really want to know what it's saying. Now, if I go to the zoo and the lion roars, maybe I want to know what he's saying. But I think with my dog, I just kind of like our relationship the way it is, where I don't know what you're saying. It's like, that works for me. I don't know if I really, that's a different thing.
We jokingly, when we first had the cat, we got the cat from the cat sanctuary, and it was called Floyd. And Annette said, I don't want to call him Floyd. That's a stupid name. So we've been watching then, I probably spoke about this before, we've been watching the Ozzy Osbourne USA road trip, and the cat was black, very princely. She said, I'm going to call him Ozzy. So we jokingly said, well, he's Ozzy, he's the Prince of Darkness, because he's a big 7.5 kilo male cat. And he is an absolute prince. And if he says anything, it's like, where's my food? And why isn't it here quicker? And and why don't you just fuck off and sit somewhere else, because you don't feed me, she does, and I'm going to give her all the attention. I'm sure that's what the cat's thinking all the time.
But do you really want to know that? Like, I mean, whether it's a cat,
I kind of know it already.
But my point though is right. But my point is, if we have AI, like if you ever saw the movie Up, where the dog George has the collar when he speaks like a human. Do you really want to be able to go to your dog or your cat or your hamster or your, I don't know, whatever, and go, good morning, so-and-so, and it's like, hi, how you doing? And have a dialogue with it? Is that just another thing in your life where you're like, I've got to talk to you?
Well,
or is
I think people there's a lot of animal activists who say, yeah, we'd love to find out what they're saying, because we would be appalled by how we treat them and how they feel treated. Like pigs in these mega stalls,
right?
Or
we're not going to talk to them,
of chickens.
We're not going to talk to the chickens or the pigs because we're eating them, and cows. We're not talking to them. We're talking about, household pets, right? You can't talk to them. You'd never eat them. It's kind of like Adam not eating octopus or squid anymore because he saw a special and they're highly intelligent.
But in the future, we will not be eating them anymore. There'll be synthetic. There's already synthetic meat and stuff like which tastes like meat and stuff like this, and it's good.
Stephen doesn't like that. He likes the. He's in Texas.
I eat the real stuff. If once there's no cows left,
it will become the real stuff. In the future, people will be saying, look, those guys were eating animals. Can you believe it?
I know. Oh my God.
Yeah. Well, the animals will be saying that. The animals will be saying,
how could you have done that to us?
You know, my dog and probably the cat, because they are not actually created to eat cooked meat or those
In some
produced food
cultures,
that
you
we
can eat
give them.
cats
They were eating raw
and
meat.
dogs.
That's what they
Yeah.
eat. And my dog, when my girlfriend is cooking and she has a raw meat, she's there with her nose because I have this very powerful noses and smell, and they're
Right.
like crazy. This is, it's nature talking there and say, "Give me this is my food. This is my
Right.
food." Actually, I say,
Yeah.
"What the hell they are cooking it? It's very taste like it is." So
I
we
just,
were
I
at the
just wondered
point
then.
eating this kind of meat raw.
Yeah.
I just wondered, and going forward, if we do crack the ability to communicate with certain animals, that they'll end up being super woke as well, won't they? We'll have to be paying them, and like we'll have to endlessly feed them for nothing, and take them for the dogs for the dog shampoo as penance for all all the centuries before that we treated them so badly. So there you go.
Well, when this happens, a lot of other things will happen simultaneously. This is the thing with the AI. Like
Right.
now, we often talk about this. Gates was saying that forget about 4-day labor and work,
Mhm.
3 days, because AI will be producing food and everything
Mhm.
that we actually need. Well, I say forget even 3 days, because by time it will be more and more used, right?
Right.
If this is very
Yeah.
special technology and it's really for our benefit, we'll use it excessively. I mean,
Yeah.
it's normal. So what we will do, because at some point a job and work that we have is giving us meaning. For example, art is giving me meaning, and for reasons I have
Right.
said before, it's giving me meaning. I mean, when I wake up and I have a good idea, like I did today, and I have it all the time. This is my problem, actually. And this is why I haven't made too much money, but I will make, you see, because I'm
Yeah.
starting to get more. This is my flow. This is my path of living. I'm stuck more to my path because my path is very, very large, very
Right.
wide, and I'm trying to narrow it more.
Gotcha.
So it becomes the path that actually is meant for me.
Yeah.
And
Well, Adam, the thing is, we're on a time restraint today. Normally, we like to talk to you like forever. We're on a bit of a time restraint
yes,
today, and I know you sent me some art, and I'm sure that people that have tuned in
yeah,
live to watch. And thank you everybody
yes.
who's watching the show live at the moment. It's fantastic to have you all on board. Shall we run some of Adam's art, because that's one of the
Oh, we
reasons,
love
apart from
Adam's art.
because apart from people who want to listen to your philosophy, they also love your art. So, and this one,
Well, there
I
is my
think it's called.
philosophy. In fact,
That
this
is
is
wait, and before we do that,
Yeah,
everybody, we will be back on the 18th of December live with Adam. So, and if you've missed any of the other shows, you can go Adam on the Eve in the playlist, and all his stuff is there from his very first show with us to all these shows, so you can enjoy his philosophy and his art. So there you go. All right,
yeah.
let's see his art.
So this is it, and this is what I think is called metaphase. So here we go.
Metaphase.
That is very pretty.
Yeah,
Yeah, very.
metaphase. Metaphase is a stage during the process of the cell division. So it's kind of inspired by this notion.
Hmm.
So you can see it's what I was saying before, that art is kind of a bridge. You see, there was an abstract forms at the beginning, and then they created those two heads I often do it. That one is into the other, so you don't see
Right.
the faces, because the face is the identity. Now I try to reveal the visual shapes, how they translate into the theory. I hide the faces sometimes because I want to take away the identity, the you or me,
Right.
the narrative of the self. And
I just
when you,
wonder, Stephen, if we could just move ourselves across on the screen, and I'll run that again. Is
I
that
can't.
possible?
I already tried.
Oh,
Yep, it's
okay.
kind of the
Yeah,
way.
it's
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 the way the
okay.
file
So
comes.
for me, it's okay. I was thinking about it, but I said because a lot of thinking are coming to my mind. I say it's okay because the background is us.
Right.
Yeah.
So what I'm
Yeah.
portraying then is us actually. So it's good.
Well, let me just run that again then, going back on a few things you've already touched upon.
Yeah.
Very cool. That is very,
You
very
see,
cool.
you see the transition from the abstract to the more specific forms that that are portrayed there.
I'm going to be a real
Yes.
philistine and say when I first looked at that, just because I haven't seen it, I don't look at your stuff when I load it. I watch it live on the show along with the viewers. It looked like it was toffee, and all of a sudden the toffee sort of became these two figures, and then
Yeah.
they parted again. So that was my very first impression was toffee. Maybe because I like toffee or caramel. Maybe that's dominant.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe
But you
You
see,
think, David?
how your
dominant in
mind
my
is
mind.
trying to find meaning. So it's not.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a good question. Why? Yeah, it's a very good question. Why does it have meaning? Well, because our mind, we're obeying our minds, and our minds are nature. We can control it.
Right.
We need look something that's totally abstract. We don't understand. It's totally alien to us. Is out of our system. It's becoming dangerous. Maybe it'll kill you. I don't know. Maybe it'll kill you. So we that's why our mind is trying to understand what's going on. What is this? Is it dangerous? Those things are happening very, very fast in our mind. Oh, it's not dangerous. It's okay. It looks okay. But this is how my dog is such a chicken shit. She's very fearful. She's
Oh,
fear.
okay. Chicken shit.
There's
Yeah, okay.
wind.
Yeah.
There's wind, and she's, "Whoa, what's going on?" but it's so crazy because she's not a very big dog, and there
Right.
is one bigger dog of neighbors, which is younger though. She's the wolf dog. How yes,
An Alsatian, probably.
yes,
German
shepherd,
Shepherd. German Shepherd.
yeah,
Shepherd.
shepherd,
Okay.
and she's a very big dog, and mine is so small. She's so angry at that dog. I don't know why, and the other is afraid. One day, we were going onto the beach, and the neighbor was in the sea with the dog. The dog was in the sea, and my dog, because I unleash her, she's free to run,
Right.
freedom. And she goes immediately. I said, where she's going? She's immediately to the sea, to the other dog to bite her. I haven't
Oh,
seen it. I
wow.
mean, what the hell is going on with her? What stuck in her mind that this dog is like danger or something, or I don't like her? This would be nice to have AI to
Maybe
talk
she
with her
doesn't.
and
Maybe
say,
she
Right.
what
doesn't
the
like
hell?
That's where
Germans.
AI comes
What
in.
the problem you have with
Yeah.
this dog?
Yeah.
It never did anything to us. It never.
Yeah.
Why have? I would like to communicate because I communicate with. I would love to have a way
Yeah.
of communication more deeper with them. I would love to. I don't
That
think
would be cool.
we will find out that they think, oh, let me be, fuck off. There's no such things, I believe.
Right.
But there are feelings which you can see
Mm-hmm.
that she's a little kind of angry to you, or she loves you. This is a very common thing.
Right.
She is dependent on you. She because they are dog also. They want to protect you.
Yep.
So she's doing everything to protect me. I think even for
My
my
dog,
girlfriend.
my dog is the same thing. She can
Yeah,
see a paper
that's the
bag
nature.
and
They do
it
what the
startles
nature
her.
say.
She's gonna
Yeah.
kill the paper bag, and I'm like, relax, it's okay. You don't have to kill the paper bag. But yeah, she's
But
part
nature is
chow.
stronger, She will
Yeah.
do it always.
Yeah. She's very protective of her family. And then when she goes to the dog park, there's certain dogs she'll play with, and there's other dogs where she's like, yeah, I'm good.
This is making me emotional actually. That she will.
Uh,
I know that my dog will give her life for me. I know it.
yep.
I
I
know
agree.
it.
That's why they call it man's best
She
friend.
will going to fight to death to protect
Hmm.
me. I know it.
Yeah. They all will. Except David has cats. So what they're going to do is they're going to be like,
No,
oh, go
no.
look for a new home.
By default, I have cats. I mean,
Okay.
But you know something, cats.
my
I had
parents
a
always
cat.
had dogs.
It's not that I had. It was actually a wild cat in
Right.
Athens when I was living, and she was always coming from the window because we had
Right.
like a small yard in front of us, a garden, and like 3 times she came for me with gifts. One, there was a bird.
Wow.
She came to me with a bird. I got crazy when I see coming from the window and she comes with a black bird. I said, what you doing? She get afraid, let the bird go. I see blood, black blood, like spit. The bird flew away. I said, what the hell? But then I thought about it, and she's giving me food, like to say thanks.
Yes.
But she was
Yeah.
wild. She never came to me for caressing. But when I went to sleep on the couch, she always came. That's the only moment that she was close to me and let me touch her. When I was sleeping, she came on my belly, and we were sleeping together like this, and I could caress her then. But otherwise, come, never. She never came close.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Animals are a strange breed, so to speak. It's just they're fascinated by them all.
Everything is strange, Stephen. We are strange. The whole life is strange, and you can't help by asking why.
Yes, we can. But the universe is strange, and we like it, so it's all good.
Yeah.
So, well, gentlemen, it has been fun. Mr. Adam, it's always a pleasure. I know you're not Jewish, but happy Hanukkah. It's coming up. We won't see you for 3 weeks.
Well, I might be from my, ancestor Jewish as well. That's what I was told.
Jewish, so we'll be celebrating Hanukkah. It starts on the 7th for everybody that's celebrating.
Because this is my final thing. I will say this and we'll finish it. That my father told me that we were not called Martinakis. We were called Matarozzi. This is more Italian surname. And my father was coming from northern part of Greece, very close to today's Istanbul, which was called Constantinople, which was the
sure.
Yeah, it was the capital of Byzantine, and there were many Latins that came upon the time. And I met a guy who's very drawn into history, very very a lot of reading and stuff. Very clever and smart guy. And I told him the story that Matarazzo. This is a known Jewish family in Italy.
So you got kicked out of Spain or Portugal in the 1600s when they was like either convert or whatever. Yeah.
Like everybody's story. If we knew, I want to make a DNA test just for fun. I don't care. I'm not any racist or something like that. I believe we are children of this planet, of this universe. We are. Actually, my theory is that I am you and you are me.
I speak to God because being Jewish, we have a direct line, and his name is Marvin. He's a very nice guy, and he wants to say hello to everybody. So that was it. We'll interview him one day.
Yeah, and talking about results, let's have a very quick spelling test at the end of the show today. Constantinople.
Yes, I spelled November wrong. Sorry about that.
Yeah,
I was in a hurry to get it.
Constantinople. How do you spell it? The answer is IT. There you go.
IT.
I don't get it.
All right. Gentlemen, it's a pleasure. Adam, is always a pleasure. We'll see everybody live on the 18th of December, same time, same bat channel. David, always a pleasure. And everybody, don't forget to subscribe and like. Take us home, David.